Okay, now let's use Bayes' theorem to figure out a really difficult problem. This problem says you know you got 5 heads in a row. Now you want to know what is the probability that you pick the two-sided coin. This is a different question than we answered before, so you should understand what this difference is. The question asks, what is the probability of getting the two-sided coin given that you observed you got 5 out of 5 heads? That is different than the probability of getting 5 out of 5 heads given that you got the two-sided coin, right? The probability of getting 5 out of 5 heads given that you got the two-sided coins is 1. The probability of getting the two-sided coin given that you got 5 out of 5 heads, we don't know what this is. And typically this is what clinicians and scientists want to know. We observe certain facts. We observe that we got 5 out of 5 heads. We want to know the probability of our hypothesis, which is, did we pick the two-sided coin? So the probability of the hypothesis given that we observed certain facts, certain evidence, is not the same as the probability that we observed certain facts given a hypothesis. And this is what frequentists tell us. They tell us the probability of our data given a certain hypothesis. But we don't want to know that. We want to know, having observed certain facts, what is the probability of our hypothesis. So I hope you can understand the difference between these two statements. So speaking kind of abstractly, what we are looking at is, what is the probability of A and B, and what we've learned above is that is equal to the probability of B happening, B has to happen, times the probability of A given that B has happened. If you think of the coin example, this should be clear to you now. And we know from this that the probability of A and B happening is equal to the probability of B and A happening. These are equivalent. These two probabilities are the same. So if we write this down, the probability of B and A, what will that equal? That will equal the probability of A times the probability of B given that A has happened. Well, since these two things are equivalent, what you get, and this is all Reverend Bayes did, is the probability of A given B equals the probability of B given A times the probability of A. And since these two things are equivalent, we can make this equivalent to the probability of A given B times the probability of B. And all you have to do is, let's say we divide by the probability of B. Then you get the probability of B given A times the probability of A divided by the probability of B. That will equal the probability of A given B. And this is what we call Bayes' theorem. And now we will use this theorem to figure out the probability that we pick the two-sided coin.